My name is Benjamin Charles Harper, and for 12 years, I was the creative director at Meridian Studios, a mid-sized advertising agency in Minneapolis that specialized in campaigns for outdoor recreation and lifestyle brands. I wasn't just another creative pushing concepts. I was the strategic mind behind some of the most memorable advertising campaigns of the last decade. My specialty was what the industry calls authentic storytelling. Campaigns that didn't just sell products but connected with people's deeper motivations and values. I understood that modern consumers, especially in the outdoor recreation space, could smell fake marketing from a mile away. They wanted brands that reflected their actual experiences and aspirations. My breakthrough campaign was for North Trail Backpacks in 2018. Instead of the typical glossy adventure photography showing perfect people in pristine wilderness, I created a series of short documentaries following real hikers, climbers, and adventurers as they used North Trail gear in genuinely challenging conditions. The campaign didn't just show the products, it told the stories of people whose lives were enriched by spending time outdoors. The response was unprecedented. North Trail sales increased 340% in the first year after the campaign launched. More importantly, the documentaries went viral organically, generating millions of views and establishing North Trail as the authentic choice for serious outdoor enthusiasts. That campaign established my reputation in the industry. Over the following years, I developed similar authentic storytelling approaches for wilderness gear companies, sustainable clothing brands, and adventure travel organizations. My work consistently delivered results because it was based on a simple principle. Respect your audience's intelligence and tell them stories that matter. Meridian Studios thrived under my creative leadership. We won industry awards, attracted premium clients, and most importantly, we delivered campaigns that actually moved products while building genuine brand loyalty. Our client retention rate was over 90%, and we had a waiting list of companies wanting to work with us. But advertising success isn't just about creative vision. It's about understanding consumer psychology, market positioning, and the complex relationship between brand identity and customer behavior. I had spent years studying not just what made good advertising, but what made advertising effective in an increasingly skeptical marketplace. My team respected me because I never asked them to work on campaigns I wouldn't put my own name on. I could handle every aspect of campaign development, from initial strategy to final production, and often did when we were facing tight deadlines or challenging client demands. During campaign development, my word carried weight because everyone knew I understood both the creative and business sides of advertising. I could explain why a particular approach would resonate with target demographics, how it would differentiate the client from competitors, and what kind of ROI we could reasonably expect. Then the agency was acquired by Global Marketing Solutions, a massive advertising conglomerate, based in New York that specialized in what they called scalable creative solutions for multinational clients. The acquisition happened fast. 1 month we were an independent agency with our own culture and creative philosophy. The next month we were a regional office in a corporate structure that managed campaigns for everything, from fast food chains to pharmaceutical companies. Diana Whitman arrived as the new executive creative director 3 weeks after the acquisition closed. She was 38, had an MBA from Columbia, and came from a background in consumer packaged goods marketing where campaigns were developed through focus groups and market research, rather than creative intuition. Our first company-wide meeting was about aligning our creative output with Global Marketing Solutions' proven methodologies and scalable frameworks. The outdoor recreation sector represents significant growth opportunities. She announced to a room full of creatives who had built their careers understanding that exact market. But we need to modernize our approach using data-driven insights and cross-platform integration strategies. I should have seen the warning signs. Diana's first major initiative was restructuring our creative process. Instead of allowing senior creatives like me to guide campaign development based on brand understanding and market knowledge, she implemented a committee-based approval system that included account managers, data analysts, and brand strategists from Global's other divisions. My ongoing work for clients like North Trail and Summit Outdoor Gear suddenly required approval from people who had never worked in outdoor recreation marketing and didn't understand what made that audience unique. Campaign concepts that had been developed through years of relationship building with clients were now subject to review by committees that analyzed everything through generic consumer behavior models. The breaking point came when Diana assigned me to work on a campaign for Megamart's new outdoor recreation section. Megamart was a big box retailer known for cheap products and aggressive pricing, everything opposite to the authentic, quality-focused brands I had built my reputation serving. Ben, this is exactly the kind of scalable opportunity Global Marketing Solutions excels at. Megamart wants to capture market share from premium outdoor brands using value-focused messaging and broad demographic targeting. I tried to explain that outdoor enthusiasts weren't motivated by generic value propositions, that the market segment was built on trust, authenticity, and quality rather than price competition. But Diana had already decided that my perspective was too narrow for Global's diversified approach. You're thinking too specifically about niche demographics. Megamart's research shows that 73% of consumers prioritize price over brand loyalty in outdoor recreation purchases. That research is wrong, I said. Or at least it's measuring the wrong consumers. People who buy outdoor gear at Megamart aren't the same people who drive growth in this market segment. Ben, you're being resistant to data-driven insights. This is exactly the kind of thinking we need to evolve beyond. Over the following months, I watched Diana systematically dismantle everything that had made Meridian Studios successful in the outdoor recreation space. Our campaigns became generic, focus group-tested messaging that could have been applied to any product category. The authentic storytelling that had built our reputation was replaced by stock photography and generic adventure imagery that looked like every other outdoor brand's advertising. Most importantly, she changed our client relationships from long-term partnerships based on deep brand understanding to project-based contracts that prioritized quick turnaround and standardized deliverables over strategic thinking. My role shifted from creative director to senior campaign manager, responsible for executing strategies developed by committees rather than creating original approaches based on market expertise. The clients I had worked with for years were reassigned to account teams that would manage them using Global's standardized processes. The final insult came during my annual review. Diana sat across from me in her corner office, flanked by Jessica Martinez from Human Resources, as she delivered what she called developmental feedback. Ben, your creative work is solid, but frankly, your approach feels outdated for our current objectives. You focus too heavily on niche market understanding and not enough on scalable messaging strategies that can be applied across multiple client categories. This from a woman who had never spent time with actual outdoor enthusiasts, never understood why authenticity mattered more than production value, never recognized that outdoor recreation customers could immediately identify and reject inauthentic marketing. We're looking for creatives who can adapt to our collaborative frameworks and embrace cross-platform optimization methodologies, she continued. The termination meeting was scheduled for the following Thursday. They offered a generous severance package, 6 months' salary, extended benefits, and assistance with job placement. In exchange, I would sign a non-compete agreement and confidentiality clauses about client strategies and campaign approaches. Diana emphasized how much they valued my contributions and how difficult this decision was for everyone involved. Jessica nodded sympathetically throughout, making supportive comments about my distinguished creative career and significant industry expertise. I signed the papers without argument and spent the weekend cleaning out my office. 12 years of creative work, hundreds of campaigns, thousands of hours building client relationships, all reduced to 3 boxes of personal items and portfolio samples I wasn't supposed to take but did anyway. But here's what Diana didn't know. During my years at Meridian, I had built relationships that extended far beyond the agency. Clients, photographers, production companies, media contacts, and most importantly, the outdoor recreation community that had trusted my creative judgment and understood the difference between authentic marketing and corporate messaging. I also knew things about outdoor recreation marketing that couldn't be learned from consumer research reports and focus group data. Which messaging approaches resonated with different adventure communities, which visual styles communicated authenticity versus aspiration, which media channels actually influenced purchasing decisions among serious outdoor enthusiasts. Most importantly, I had been quietly developing a new approach to adventure marketing that global marketing solutions knew nothing about. A methodology that combined authentic storytelling with emerging digital platforms to create campaigns that didn't just sell products, but built genuine communities around shared outdoor experiences. 2 weeks after my termination, I received a call from Marcus Reynolds, founder of Trailhead Creative, a boutique agency that specialized exclusively in outdoor recreation marketing. We had been friendly competitors for years, and he had been following my work closely. "Ben, I heard about the changes at Meridian. Are you interested in doing something completely different?" Trailhead offered me something Diana never could: complete creative freedom and clients who understood that outdoor recreation marketing required specialized expertise, not generic advertising approaches. They made me creative partner immediately, with equity in the agency and autonomy to pursue the kinds of authentic campaigns that had built my reputation. More importantly, they understood that outdoor recreation consumers were fundamentally different from typical retail customers. They valued authenticity over production value, trusted peer recommendations over celebrity endorsements, and made purchasing decisions based on long-term gear performance rather than short-term promotional pricing. Within 3 months of joining Trailhead, I had launched Adventure Authentic, a campaign development approach that embedded marketing content directly into real outdoor experiences. Instead of creating advertisements about adventure, we created adventures that authentically showcased client products. My first project was for Alpine Gear, a premium climbing equipment company. Rather than traditional advertising, I developed a documentary series following female climbers, attempting first ascents in remote mountain ranges using Alpine's newest safety equipment. The content was distributed through climbing community channels and adventure film festivals, reaching precisely the audience that drove purchasing decisions in technical climbing gear. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Alpine Gear sales increased 280% within 6 months, but more importantly, they became the preferred choice among professional climbers and mountain guides who influenced equipment decisions for thousands of recreational climbers. The climbing documentary series won 3 Adventure Film Festival awards and was featured in Outside magazine as an example of marketing that doesn't feel like marketing. My name appeared in every article as the creative strategist behind the approach. 6 months later, I received a call from Jake Morrison, creative director at Summit Media, one of the largest outdoor recreation marketing agencies on the West Coast. They had seen my work with Alpine Gear and wanted to discuss collaboration opportunities. The conversation led to something bigger. Jake was launching an independent venture capital fund focused on outdoor recreation startups, and he needed a creative partner who understood how to build authentic brand identities in that space. "Ben, we're seeing incredible innovation in outdoor gear and adventure travel, but most of these startups don't know how to communicate their value proposition to the communities that matter. They need someone who speaks the language." Within a year, I had become creative director for 12 outdoor recreation startups, helping them develop brand identities and marketing strategies that resonated with adventure communities rather than generic consumer segments. My approach was simple: understand the community first, then figure out how the product fits into their actual experiences. The success stories multiplied quickly. A sustainable ski gear company that went from startup to $10 million in annual sales using community-focused marketing. An adventure travel app that built a user base of 500,000 active outdoor enthusiasts through peer-to-peer content rather than traditional advertising. A camping equipment manufacturer that became the preferred choice among professional wilderness guides through authentic testimonials and real-world performance documentation. Meanwhile, Meridian Studios was struggling under global marketing solutions management. Their outdoor recreation clients had started leaving as campaigns became increasingly generic and disconnected from community values. North Trail Backpacks terminated their relationship after a disastrous campaign that featured stock models and obviously staged outdoor scenarios. Diana had been reassigned to strategic planning, which in advertising speak meant they had lost confidence in her creative judgment. The turning point came when Summit Outdoor Gear, Meridian's largest remaining outdoor client, fired the agency after a campaign that completely misunderstood their brand positioning. The campaign featured extreme sports imagery that alienated Summit's core customer base of thoughtful, environmentally conscious outdoor enthusiasts. I received a call from Summit's CEO 2 days after they terminated their Meridian contract. "Ben, we need to start over completely. The last campaign was a disaster, and we're looking for an agency that actually understands our customers." I connected them with Trailhead Creative, and we developed a campaign that returned Summit to their authentic roots while expanding their market reach. The campaign increased their sales by 180% and restored their reputation among outdoor retailers. A year later, Deanna called me directly. "Ben, I think there may have been a misunderstanding about your departure from Meridian. We've been reconsidering some of our creative strategies, and there might be opportunities that would interest you." I let her finish before responding. "Diana, I appreciate the call, but I'm very focused on Trailhead right now. We have a different philosophy about outdoor recreation marketing here." "What kind of philosophy?" "We believe that authentic marketing requires understanding the communities you're trying to reach. That outdoor recreation consumers are sophisticated and can immediately identify inauthentic messaging. That effective campaigns are built on respect for the audience, not manipulation of consumer psychology." The silence stretched between us. "I understand you're working with some of our former clients," she said finally. "I'm working with clients who need authentic marketing for outdoor recreation products. The same approach I tried to maintain at Meridian before you optimized it out of existence. Well, I hope you understand that intellectual property agreements protect specific campaign executions, not creative methodologies I developed over 12 years in this industry. Diana, your lawyers already tried this argument 8 months ago." After we hung up, I sat in my office at Trailhead, looking at storyboards for an upcoming adventure film project, thinking about the path that had led here. Diana had made a calculated decision that my specialized expertise was less valuable than global marketing solutions' scalable approaches. She had been wrong in ways that were becoming more obvious every quarter. The mistake wasn't just underestimating outdoor recreation marketing complexity. It was fundamentally misunderstanding what made advertising effective in specialized markets. She thought it was about applying proven consumer psychology across different product categories, maximizing reach through standardized messaging. But effective outdoor recreation marketing is about understanding community values, building authentic relationships with influencers and customers, and most importantly, respecting the intelligence and sophistication of people who make equipment decisions based on life-or-death performance requirements. 2 years later, Trailhead Creative was featured in Adweek as one of the fastest-growing boutique agencies in America. Our client roster included some of the most innovative companies in outdoor recreation, and our campaigns consistently delivered both creative recognition and business results. Meanwhile, Global Marketing Solutions had quietly closed Meridian Studios, outdoor recreation division, after losing 70% of their clients in that sector. Their generic approaches had proven unable to compete with agencies that understood specialized markets. I didn't take satisfaction in Meridian's struggles, but I felt grateful for the opportunity to do creative work the way it should be done, built on deep market understanding, authentic relationships, and respect for both clients and consumers. At Trailhead, I had created something better than what I'd lost. A creative practice based on community expertise rather than demographic analysis, authenticity rather than manipulation. My clients knew that when they worked with us, they were getting strategies developed specifically for their market rather than generic approaches adapted from other industries. Outdoor recreation marketing is supposed to be about connecting people with experiences that enrich their lives, gear that enhances their adventures, and communities that share their values. Diana had turned it into a consumer manipulation challenge, and she'd learned the hard way that some markets can't be manipulated. The last I heard, Global Marketing Solutions was struggling to rebuild credibility in outdoor recreation, marketing after a series of campaign failures that had become case studies in how not to market to specialized communities. Sometimes, late at night when I'm reviewing footage for an upcoming documentary project, I think about that conversation with Diana, about her certainty that any market could be approached using standardized consumer psychology, that my expertise was too narrow, that success required embracing cross-platform optimization. She was right about the importance of understanding consumer behavior. But she confused generic consumer data with community-specific insights, standardized messaging with authentic communication. Real marketing success in specialized markets is built on deep understanding of community values, authentic relationships, and respect for consumer intelligence. The advertising industry will always need people who understand that behind every purchase decision, especially in markets like outdoor recreation, there are real people with sophisticated knowledge and deeply held values, that authenticity matters, that community expertise has value, that some markets require specialized understanding rather than generic approaches. Diana learned that lesson through client losses and creative failures. I learned it too. But my education came with the satisfaction of building authentic brand relationships that actually serve both clients and consumers. These days, I still work long hours, still push for creative excellence, still face the challenge of balancing artistic vision with business results. The difference is that now I work with clients who understand what authentic marketing means, and with communities that appreciate being treated with intelligence and respect. And when young creatives ask me for advice about building a successful career, I tell them what my mentor told me 15 years ago. Understand your audience deeply. Tell stories that matter, and never let anyone convince you that authenticity is just another marketing tactic. It served me well, and it will serve them well too. The market has a way of rewarding authentic communication, even when the people managing campaigns don't understand what authenticity looks like until it's too late. 3 years later, I was invited to speak at the Outdoor Industry Association's annual marketing summit in Denver. The presentation was about authentic storytelling in adventure marketing, and the audience included creative directors, brand managers, and marketing executives from across the outdoor recreation industry. During the Q&A session, a familiar voice asked about scaling authentic campaigns for larger brands. It was Diana, sitting in the middle section, looking older and somehow humbled. Ben, your work with Trailhead has been remarkable. How do you maintain authenticity when working with clients who need to reach broader markets? I looked at her for a moment, remembering our conversations about data-driven insights and scalable creative frameworks. The key is understanding that authentic doesn't mean small, I replied. It means honest. You can create campaigns that reach large audiences while still respecting community values and telling truthful stories about how products actually perform in real conditions. After the presentation, she approached me in the hallway. Ben, that was really insightful. I've been thinking a lot about our conversation 3 years ago. Oh? She hesitated, then added, I made mistakes at Meridian. I didn't understand what made outdoor recreation marketing different from other categories. I thought expertise in one area automatically transferred to another. I nodded but said nothing. The thing is, she continued, I've been working with smaller brands lately, trying to understand community-focused marketing. It's harder than I thought, but more rewarding. That's good to hear, Diana. I wanted you to know that I realize now what authentic marketing really requires. The time investment, the relationship building, the deep understanding of community values. It can't be systematized the way I thought it could. As she walked away, I felt something unexpected. Not vindication, but a kind of professional respect for someone who had been willing to admit their mistakes and learn from them. That evening, I received a text from Marcus at Trailhead. We had just signed 3 new clients, all outdoor recreation startups that needed authentic brand development from the ground up. Some stories, I realized, are worth telling authentically.